How to properly dispose of industrial waste. Part 3. Legal and environmentally friendly factory. Hello, I'm Mr. SD for Sustainable Development, the guru of industrial waste management. Now we come to the third part, which will be our final part. According to the law, when there is more and more industrial waste, there are only 2 regulations to follow for each party, which are 1. Report, and 2. Ask for permission. Report. Ask for permission. For the waste generator, or WG, the first thing to do is to identify what kind of waste the factory has produced. Is it hazardous or not? Then you have to find out what identification number, or so-called the waste code, of each waste is to be categorized, because you will be required to fill out a permission form. Each kind of waste is identified under a different 6-digit number, such as 03, 0105 for sawdust or wood scrap, 150202 for contaminated cloth and gloves. There are also codes for disposals which are identified under a 3-digit number, such as 041 for use as alternative fuel or fuel substitute. If you want to know more about these disposal codes that represent each kind of waste and disposal, visit and download at www.diw.go.th. Now that you know the waste code and disposal code, the next process is to report and send a permission request to the Department of Industrial Works. In case the waste is being stored over 90 days, a storage extension form will be required. If you wish to take the waste out of the factorial area for disposal, fill out a disposal form and inform the details of the transportation. If the waste is hazardous, it is required to authorize a transporter with the ID number as a representative for transporting the waste to a disposal facility. If the representative makes any mistake, the authorizer, which could be WG or WP, will share the responsibility for any damage that occurs. For non-hazardous waste, the entrepreneur will be free to assign any potential transporter with standardized management and good environmental responsibility. The ID number will not be required, but do not forget to ask for the permission. In case you wish to dispose of your own waste within the factory area, you will need approval from the Department of Industrial Works. To summarize, what WG has to do is 1. Identify the waste and its amount. 2. Request disposal permission. 3. Make an annual report. Annual report. Sending a permission request or making an annual report can be done in the form either in person or through the internet. For WT, who transports hazardous waste, the 13-digit identification number and material possession license, WA. In case of an accident during the transportation, the accident report will be required within 7 days from the day the accident occurs. For the waste processor, or WP, the 13-digit identification number will be required for hazardous waste disposal, as well as submitting the annual report, SK5. In case second-generation waste is generated from the treatment or recycling process of the first WP, there must be an appointment of other WP for further treatment or disposal. It is very important that every time the waste is transported, WG, WT, and WP, all 3 parties, must report the waste type and quantity to the authority via the waste manifest system. In each batch of treatment or disposal, the next WP will also be required to make the account of treated or disposed waste. In case of any discrepancy, such as the transported waste happens to be irrelevant to the waste permit SK2, the non-conformity report 04 will be required. Or if the hazardous waste is transported to WP without a waste permit SK2, WP will have to submit the non-conformity report form 05. In case of the WP is a fuel blending factory or material substitute producer, the material recycled list SK8 or the waste handling report will be required and submitted to the Authority Department of Industrial Works. And those industrial furnaces that use the recycled materials will have to make the Material Processing Report SK9 and submit to the Authority Department of Industrial Works as well. You can see that each process requires the permission and verification to make sure the industrial waste is well managed and no improper handling occurs. When everything is done under the legal basis, you will not have to smuggle around. You can be proud of yourself, taking a part in maintaining a good environment and society. And your factory will be sustainably developed because no one can put a ban on your factory, and it will become your potential to compete with other factories worldwide. Let me leave this to you. If any factory does not submit the request for industrial waste management permission, the Ministry of Industry will not extend the factory's license, which means the factory will later become an illegal factory. Last but not least, I'm Mr. SD. Thank you all for your attention for the industrial waste management lesson. Hopefully, this will help anyone to carry out the process correctly under a lawful and environment-caring basis. Take care and goodbye.